Welcome friends. Now we are going to solve this practical problem on royalty accounts. Royalty accounts are basically related to the accounting for leases. Here, let us discuss the question and try to solve this question step by step. The question says Bata Limited took a coal mine on lease from the Tata Limited for 10 years as on 1st January 2018 with the following terms. First term says royalties are payable at rupees 10 per ton of output. So first condition is related to the rate of royalties, which is rupees 10 per ton. Second, minimum rent was fixed at rupees 20,000 per annum. So here the amount of minimum rent is 20,000 per annum. Next, each year's excess of minimum rent over the actual royalties can be recovered during the next 2 years. So basically, third term is related to the short workings. If there are short workings in any year, that short workings can be recovered during next 2 years. Okay, so question says that short workings can be recovered in next 2 years. And fourth point is related to the output of coal for first 4 years. Here, output of coal from 2018 is given for next 4 years. And question asks us to pass necessary journal entries in the books of Bata Limited to record about transactions. Right. See friends, in order to solve this question on royalty accounts, first we need to prepare a working table. Without working table, we cannot pass journal entries properly, or even we cannot calculate the various important amounts like short workings and amount payable, right? So first we need to prepare a working table in this question. Okay, and this working table is prepared in this format. You can pause the video and prepare this working table so that you can solve this question with me. Okay, it has 8 columns. First column is related to the year, second is related to the output of coal, third is related to the royalty or amount of royalty payable, fourth is related to the minimum rent. Next, fifth column is related to the short working suffered, sixth is related to the short working recovered, seventh is related to the short working written off, and last column is related to the amount payable. Right, so first we need to prepare working table in this format, and then we can pass necessary journal entries related to this question. Right, so here we have output from 2018. Okay, so in working table, as our first column is related to the year, first 2018, and output for 2018 is 1,800 tons. Okay, so here let us record the amount. Output for 2018 is 1,800 tons. Right, here in third column, we need to calculate the amount of royalty payable, and it is calculated on the basis of rate of royalty. Here in the first term, it is clearly given that royalties are payable at rupees 10 per ton of the output. Okay, so here rate of royalty is rupees 10 per ton. Okay, and here output is 1,800 unit. So 1,800 multiplied by 10 gives us the amount of royalty or amount of actual royalty. So here our royalties are 18,000 rupees. Okay, amount of royalty payable is rupees 18,000. Right. Next column is for minimum rent, and minimum rent is given in the question as rupees 20,000 per annum. Here in second term, minimum rent was fixed at rupees 20,000 per annum. So here minimum rent is 20,000. Right. Now next column is very important, which is related to the short working. Right, and this depends on the comparison of minimum rent and royalty. See friends, in order to have a certain income or fixed income, generally the minimum rent is given in the question, or there is a condition of minimum rent. This minimum rent is the amount which must be paid by the uh, lazy to the laser, right, irrespective of the output. Okay, in first year or in this 2018, you can observe that actual royalties are 18,000 but minimum rent is 20,000, right? In this case, Bata Limited has to pay rupees 20,000 to the Tata Limited because it is the amount of minimum rent, right? But actual royalties are less than minimum rate. It means there are short working, right? And this short working arise only in this situation when the actual royalties are less than minimum rate, right? See friends, one more time. Short workings arise only if the amount of actual royalty payable is less than amount of minimum rate. Here, the amount of minimum rate is 20,000 and actual royalties are 18,000. So it means there are short workings or there is a shortage of 2,000 rupees. So basically these 2,000 are short workings for 2018. Okay, so here we write the amount of short working suffered in this column, suffered column, right? Here in question C, friends, it is clearly given in the third term that each year's excess of minimum rent over the actual royalties. Okay, excess of minimum rent over the actual royalties can be recovered during next 2 years, right? So that's why here we have recorded the amount of short workings suffered in this column, and if these short workings are recovered, then we can write the amount in record column. Or if the short workings are not recovered in next 2 years, then the amount of short workings which are not recovered is recorded in the last column, that is in return of. Okay, we write off the amount of short working which are not recovered, right? But for this uh, year for 2018, the output is 1,800 tons and royalties are 18,000, minimum rent is 20,000. So short workings are or short working suffered are rupees 2,000. In this year we cannot recovered amount because this is the first year. In this year we have suffered the royalty, so in recovered column there will be dash or the amount is nil. Then in return of column also we are not going to write off the short workings in this year because we have the 2 year span to recover the short workings. So short workings can be recovered in next 2 years, right? In last column we need to record the amount payable to the laser, right? So in this way, first we have to prepare a working table for each year, and then we can record or we can journalize the transaction in the books of Bata Limited, right? So here for first year output is 1,800 tons, royalty 18,000. Then next amount of minimum rent which is given in the question is 20,000, and because of that the short workings are there, right? And one more time I would like to explain this concept, friends. See, short working arise only when the amount of royalty is less than minimum rate, right? One more time, see friends, short workings arise only when the amount of royalty is less than minimum rate, right? I hope now the concept of short working is clear, and the numbers for 2018 in this particular questions are also clear, right? Now let us take the information for next year. See, for 2019 the output is 2,000 tons. Okay, so here for the year 2019 output 2,000 tons. Okay, so we know that a rate of royalties rupees 10 per ton. 10 per ton. So 2,000 multiplied by 10 gives us 20,000. This 20,000 is the amount of actual royalties. And the minimum rent it is given in the question is rupees 20,000. Right. Now see friends, royalty or actual royalty and amount of minimum rent is equal. In this year, there is no question of short workings. It means in this year, short workings cannot arise because the royalties and amount of minimum rent is equal, right? So here, short working in support column dash, in recovered column dash, in third column, that is a return of dash, and amount payable for 2019 is 20,000, right? So see friends, if the royalties and minimum rent are equal, then there is no question of short workings, right? Now let us record the information for next year, that is for 2020. For 2020, the output is 2400 units. Okay, for 2020 output is 2400 tons, not units, right? And the rate of royalty is 10 per ton. So here actual royalty or amount of royalty is 24,000, right? And minimum rent which is given in the question, which is fixed, it is 20,000. Okay. Now here you can observe that the amount of royalty is more than minimum rent, right? Here the amount of royalty is more than minimum rent, right? So it means in this year we can recover the short workings of previous year, right? Because here royalties are more than minimum rate, right? When royalties are less than minimum rate, short workings are suffered, right? Like for 2018, in 2018 royalties are less than minimum rate. In this year short workings arises or short workings are suffered. But when royalties are more than minimum rent, we can recover the support short workings if the agreement allows us. Now let us see, it is given in the question or in third term that each year's excess of minimum rent over the actual royalties can be recovered during next 2 years. It means short workings can be recovered in next 2 years. So short working for 2018 can be recovered either in 2019 or 2020, right? So here we can recover this support short working. Okay, so the amount of support short working is 2000. So now let us see if we can recover whole amount. So here see friends, amount of minimum rent is 20,000, but actual royalties are 24,000 for the year 2020. So here there is a excess of 4,000. Okay, it means uh, royalties are more than minimum rate by 4,000, and we have suffered a short working of 2,000. It means this 2,000 rupees can be recovered in this year. Okay, because there is a uh, royalties are excess by 4,000. Sorry friends. See, so this in this year 2020 we can recover the suffered short workings, and the amount of suffered short working is 2000. Okay. Now in suffered column there will be no amount, nothing. But in recovered column there are 2000 rupees because we can recover this short workings which are suffered in 2018. So here out of 2000, the whole amount of support short working is recovered in this year, right? Now in write off column, see, if the short workings are not recovered, then only we write off the short workings. Okay, write off short working means we considered those short working as a loss and it is transferred to the profit and loss account. But in this question the whole amount of short working is recovered. Okay, so there is no question of return of short working return of. Okay, now we need to record the amount payable to the landlord in last column. Okay, so for this year, see friends, we need to calculate amount in this way: royalties less recovered, short working recovered. Okay, so 24,000 is the amount of actual royalty minus 2,000, it gives us 22,000. Okay. So see friends, if in any year royalties are recovered in that year, we subtract the amount of short working recovered, sorry, not royalties recovered. If short workings are recovered, we subtract the amount of short workings recovered from the actual royalty. Okay, so here 24,000 minus 2,000, it gives us 22,000. Okay, so here amount payable to laser is rupees 22,000. Right. I hope now the uh, concept of short working suffered and short workings recovered is clear. Right. Now let us move for the next year. For next year, that is for 2021, output is 3,000 tons. Okay. So here for 2021, output is 3,000 tons. Rate of royalty is 10 rupees per ton. So 3,000 multiplied by 10 gives us 30,000. So 30,000 is the amount of actual royalty payable. Right. And then minimum rent, which is fixed, rupees 20,000 is the minimum rent. Here also you can observe that the amount of royalty is more than minimum rate. Okay, amount of royalty is more than minimum rate. It means in this year also we can recover if there are short workings. Okay, but we have recovered the whole amount of short working suffered. Okay, so now there is no question of short working suffered. Now we cannot recover because there is nothing to recover. Okay, there are no short workings to recover. Write off, there will be no amount. And for this year, amount payable is rupees 30,000. Right. So friends, here you can observe that generally amount payable is higher of the minimum rent or royalty payable. Okay, so here it is the uh, like cushion to the owner or landlord of the mine. Okay, which gives him the fixed income in the form of minimum rent. But if the royalties are more than minimum rent, he receives the higher of this amount. Right. So for 2021, the amount payable to the laser or owner of the mine is rupees 30,000. Right. So in this way, we need to prepare a working table, and from this working table, we can uh, journalize the transactions. Okay. So now we have prepared a working table on the basis of given conditions and given information. Okay. So here in working table, uh, we uh, we have important information related to the short workings, royalty, and amount payable to the owner and short working recovery. Okay. Now let us see how to journalize these transactions. Okay. To journalize the transaction, we need to prepare a journal in this format. Here, date, particulars, ledger folio, that is LF, debit rupees, credit rupees. Okay. For first year, uh, see, for first year, royalties are less than minimum rate. It means for first year, there are short workings. And if there are short workings, generally short working account is debited. Okay. So first, royalty account debit for 18,000, because the amount of royalty, actual royalty is 18,000. Right. So here, for first year, royalties account debit for 18,000. Next, short working account debit for rupees 2,000. See friends, here actual royalty 18,000 and short working suffered 2,000. Okay, so therefore here royalty account debit 18,000, short workings account debit 2,000, and two landlord account, that is two Tata Limited. Okay, so in this way, journal entry is passed for the first year if there are short workings. Okay, if there are no short workings, then simple entry can be passed like royalty account debit to landlord account. Okay, but if short workings are there, royalty account debit, short working account debit to landlord account. Okay, here the landlord's account or leaser's account is credited for 20,000 because royalties are 18,000, short workings are 2,000, and the whole amount is 20,000. Right? See here in the working table, royalties 18,000, suffered short working suffers are 2,000, but amount payable is 20,000. Right? Now, uh, let us write the narration for this. Narration for this entry is being royalties payable subject to minimum rent of rupees 20,000. Okay, here royalties are payable to Tata Limited but subject to minimum rent. Okay, because actual royalties are 18,000 but short workings are there because minimum rent is 20,000. Okay, in this way, we need to write the narration. So here we have finished with first journal entry. And see friends, generally the entries for royalty account are passed at the end of the year. Okay. And here we have taken the date as 31st December 2018 because Bata Limited took this coal mine on a lease from the Tata Limited on 1st January 2018. Okay, so it means financial year for this firm is starting from 1st January and it is ending on 31st December. Okay, so date for first entry is 31st December 2018. And see friends, each year we have to pass these three entries. Okay, so first entry is related to the royalties due or royalties payable. Second entry is related to the royalty paid. Okay, it means we in second entry we show that royalties are paid or amount is paid to the landlord. So that's why landlord's account gets debited. So here Tata Limited account debit to bank account. Okay, and here we are going to pay rupees 20,000 to Tata Limited because here in the working table we can see that amount payable is rupees 20,000, right? So here Tata Limited account debit for 20,000 and bank account is credited for 20,000. And here narration is being minimum rent paid to Tata Limited. Okay, here see friends, we have not paid the amount of royalty because actual royalties are 18,000. Here we have paid the minimum rent to the landlord. Okay, so here narration is being minimum rent paid to the Tata Limited, right? And third entry, we need to pass third entry. Here we transfer the amount of royalties to profit and loss account. So third entry is profit and loss account debit to royalties account. Okay, so as I said, in third entry we transfer the amount of royalties to profit and loss account. Okay, so here profit and loss account debit to royalties account and narration is being royalties transferred to profit and loss account. Okay, so in this way we have to pass these three entry for each year. Okay, every year these entries are repeated. Okay, but it is possible that in any year there are not short workings or in any years there is a situation, there can be a situation that short workings are recovered. Accordingly we have to give effect to short workings, but these are the basic entries we need to pass every year in the books of lazy. First entry is related to the amount of royalty payable. Second entry is for amount paid, amount of royalty or minimum rent paid to the landlord. And third entry is for transferring the amount of royalties to profit and loss. Okay, so in this way, we need to journalize the transaction, and these are the three entries which are repeated for every year. Okay, now for next year, see, for next year amount of royalty is 20,000, minimum rent is 20,000, and there is nothing in the columns of short workings. Okay, so for if the situation is like this, that royalties and minimum rent are same in this year, just we need to show entries related to the royalty payable. Okay, so first entry here is royalties account debit 20,000 to Tata Limited 20,000, and here being royalties payable at rupees 10 per ton. Okay, this is the narration for 2019, because in 2019 there are no short workings are there, right? So for 2019 first entry, royalty account debit 20,000 to Tata Limited. It means royalty account debit to landlord account. This is the fixed entry. Then second entry for the payment of royalties to the landlord. So second entry, Tata Limited account debit to bank account, and amount is 20,000. Tata Limited account debit 20,000 to bank account, uh, 20,000, right? And here narration is being royalties paid to Tata Limited, right? Because in third year, the amount of minimum rent in and royalty is same. And third entry, as we have already discussed, that in third entry we have to transfer the amount of royalties to profit and loss account. So here profit and loss account debit to royalties account. Profit and loss account debit 20,000, royalties account credit 20,000. And narration is being royalties transferred to profit and loss account. Right? I hope the entries for 2019 are clear now. Right? Now let us move for the next year. And here next year is 2020. Okay, for 2020 output is 2,400 unit, royalties 24,000, and minimum rent 20. Here we have recovered the short workings. Okay, so now let us pass the journal entries for the year 2020. Okay, for 2020 first entry is related to the royalties. So here amount of royalty account debit 24,000. Okay, in this year we are going to recover the short working. Okay, so it means short working account will get credited. And how much amount we are going to recover? So we are going to recover rupees 2,000. Okay, so here to short working account 2,000, then to Tata Limited account, that is landlord account, 22,000. Okay, so here royalties are 24,000. Out of 24,000 we have recovered the short workings of 2,000, and now only 22,000 is payable to landlord. And here narration is being royalties payable and short workings recovered. Okay, because in this year we have recovered the short workings of rupees 2,000. Okay, so this is the entry for uh, 2020, right? Now next entry for 2020 is Tata Limited account debit and to bank account. This is the entry of payment. Okay, being minimum rent paid to the Tata Limited. See friends, here we have not paid the minimum rent. Here we have paid the royalties. Okay, so here in narration you can write like this: being royalties paid to the Tata Limited. Okay, then third entry is related to the transfer of transfer of royalties to profit and loss account. So in third entry, profit and loss account debit to royalties account 22,000, and narration is being royalties transferred to profit and loss account. Okay, so here you must have observed that these three entries get repeated for every year. Okay, only there are uh, adjustment related to the short workings, and if short workings are recovered, it get credited. If short workings suffered, the short working account gets debited, and if short workings are written off, they are transferred to the profit and loss account, right? Now let us generalize the entries or pass the entries for 2021. For 2021, royalties are 30,000 because output is 3,000 tons and royalties are 30,000. So for this year, royalty account debit 30,000 to Tata Limited, 30,000 being royalties payable at rupees 10 per ton. This is the narration. Second entry is for the payment of royalties. So here Tata Limited account debit to bank account, and narration is being royalties paid to Tata Limited. Here we have paid the royalties. And third entry is for the transfer of royalties to the profit and loss account. So here profit and loss account debit to royalties account 30,000, and narration is being royalties transferred to profit and loss account. Okay, so in this way we need to pass journal entries in the books of lazy. Okay, and the entries get repeated every year, right? I hope this question and the all the steps related to this question or problem are clear. If you have any doubt related to this question, you can comment in the comment section and ask me the question. Friends, I am going to solve a few questions related to this royalty accounts. This is the very simple question. Okay, this was the very simple question. I am going to take uh, advanced question, two advanced questions. So there will be two sessions on this topic. So make sure that you have subscribed the channel, and thank you. Thanks for watching.